What's happening?
Hey,
Happy Saturday. Welcome back to Saturday Day Live. Let me know if my microphone's too loud. I just turned it up a little bit.
No, you're straight, bro.
Yeah, you're good.
Loud enough. What's up, my friends? What's up, everybody out there in virtual land? Welcome back to Saturday Day Live. Of course, I am Jonathan the Hedgehog from Hedgehog Action, here with my good buddies. To my left, Rygon Toy Goofingons on Instagram. Ryan, what's going on, my man?
Loving life. Still riding that high from the Four Horsemen live stream with the just dropping some heat, man.
I'm not familiar. What is that? Did something happen last night? I'm not familiar. I don't know about this.
Oh yeah. It's All Stars 6, and they gave us some old figures, and then they gave us some really fucking dope new figures.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Mystic Legends, right?
Mystic Legends, yeah.
Yep.
And then right down below here, the man from downtown, Eric LeBron, late night LeBron. Eric, what's going on, man?
Late night in the house, baby. Freaking, oh man, what an incredible night last night. I had to stay up extra hours and even end up going to work last night and tired as shit, but it was so worth it, man. What an amazing wave release that was. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was super, super cool. Obviously, we're going to get into that. We'll spend probably most of today talking about it. A couple other things just to review real quick before then. Before we get into it, I do want to say to some of the people that are hopping in the chat already. Eric Munoz, what's up, my friend? Hello to you. Pablo Lopez from Pablo Lopez Toy Box Photography. What's up, Pablo? The man behind the packaging shots on the upcoming Plunderlongs and Plunder Strongs. What's going on? Frank Lira, what's
Frankie,
going on,
baby?
man?
What's up,
How are
boy?
you? Alexander Earl Deshaw, the man behind Drunk Gizmo Customs. Excuse me.
Going on,
How are
Alex?
you?
What's up, Alex?
Amber Gonzalez, how are you?
Hey, Amber.
Amber. Hank Shaw. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by and everybody that watches us on replay.
Yep.
We just like to hang out. If it's your first time here, talk toys. We talk a lot of Four Horsemen, a lot of Mythic Legions, a lot of Cosmic Legions coming up, but we talk tons of other stuff, toy-related stuff. Sometimes we just bullshit. So thank you for being here. And Eric and Ryan, thank you guys for being here. Like I said, I know we're going to talk about last night's reveals for the latest wave of Mythic Legions figures coming out. Before we start up the slideshow and everything, just some quick thoughts. What's your overall impression of this whole new wave?
Jaw-dropping. Every figure reveal was just better than the one before. And the soft goods, they are really getting up to the Mezco quality of soft goods, but at a better price point. And the fact that they can keep it at that price point is honestly mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'm right there with Ryan, man. It's just amazing to see how out of the park these guys hit it every single time, man. And the quality, like I said, pound per pound, what you get in a figure from, Four Horsemen Studios for a $37 price point compared to any other toy line out there in the industry is just, it's unparalleled. It's so good.
Yeah, I guess if I had, what's up, David? What's up, Curtis Ackerman?
What's up, Curtis? David, what's up, boy?
Curtis says, much like All-Star 6, you guys are just too good looking. I'm not going to say that's not the case. Well, listen, between the four of us, there's only one of us that's on the front page of sourcehorseman.com still, and that's Curtis Ackerman. Shout out to Curtis Ackerman, who has a whole article about his customizing life and everything on sourcehorseman.com. So good for you. Also, we'll talk about this too after the All-Star 6 special that was on the Four Horsemen Studios YouTube channel last night. Curtis and the guys from Offworld had an after party. Went a little bit late for me. Their show did last night, but I did catch it on the replay today. Great, review of some of that stuff. If you just can't get enough, check those guys out too. 1-6 Shooter was on there. Jeremy was on there. Jesse showed up after his Dungeons and Dragons campaign was over. I'm probably saying that wrong. Please don't be mad at me. But that was cool. Check that show out too. We're going to talk about some of that stuff today. I was just impressed about how much this feels like a whole wave. Just the number of figures. A lot of people pointed out in one of Jeremy's posts about the wave that he said something about figures and items. So a lot of people were talking about it. We were talking about it. What are we thinking here? Like hands packs, feet packs, bone wings was a popular one. Ryan, you in particular, I think said a heads pack.
Yeah.
Almost all of those. We got a heads pack. We got a wings pack. We got a belt pack, which is clearly, what was it referred to? The Ack pack. People are calling it the Ack pack now.
That's right.
Curtis Ackerman was begging for a belt pack so much. So we're going to get there. But belts and suspenders, the belt pack is cool to me, but I think for anybody that customizes at all their figures, it sounds like that's going to be huge. People are talking about ordering multiple packs. What's your guys' reaction to the belt pack in particular?
You can go first.
For me, yeah, it's been a long time coming, waiting for like different belts to put on all of like our standard figures and a lot of our custom figures that we've put so much time and effort into, and having to utilize the same old belt strap that they've always had with every figure. And yeah, to have those available to us at $12 for, is it $12 for the pack?
$12. Yep,
yeah. It's like, man, it's such a steal for those. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, maybe people will look at it differently, but I know, like I said, from a customizer standpoint, yeah, those belt packs are gold, man. It's like I said, something we've been waiting for so long, and really, it's such a simple accessory piece that to most people it really doesn't matter. But when you really look at the details of these figures and like I said, the quality of some of the sculpts and the details that they're putting on the old standard straps that come with it just does not do the figure justice at all. So like I said, having all those different variants of those belts is awesome to have. You know what I mean? Both in black and brown, and the different styles and the ways you can utilize them with your figures. It's just going to be amazing to have those in hand now, especially to, like I said, to trade out a bunch of old belts that we've been using for a long time.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, and the wave, like I said, I was completely blown away. Aside from the 4 figures that we got in the All-Stars vote, I was expecting the full wave to be maybe 6 to 8 figures. Like really pushing it was going to be 8 figures. I mean, to come out with 11 figures, I mean, I was like, whoa, man! They just keep coming and coming, and I was like, what in the hell is going on, man? Like just a full blown wave.
In our group chat last night, like I was about to just, I was like, I had typed out already. Wait, how big is this wave? And then Eric, before I even got there, he was like, how many figures are in this wave? It just kept going.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
So, all right, before we get into the meat of it, throwing on the what's up, Bill? What's going on from the Dork Lair?
What up, Bill?
Bill says 7 figures and 4 accessory packs is indeed quite the wave, not to mention the 4 reissues. It sure is, man.
Yeah.
And here we right on the jump here. 2 of the stars of the show, the Skeleton Raider and Thrasis the First Risen. Also love the story behind Thrasis as well. So any skeleton fans, you knew this was going to be just more beautiful goodness for you, and you got that. But dwarf fans got some love too, as we'll see.
Appreciate that,
Jesse. What's happening, Jesse?
All right. What's up, Jesse?
So first up, I want to start with a little segment, which we've sort of been doing anyway. I like to try to start the show and start the slideshow kind of going over a couple of things from the past week, just, touching base on some stuff before we move on to the new stuff. And for the first time, I've given it a title. It's called, Wait, What Happened, Bro? First of all, last weekend was my birthday weekend. We had a birthday stream here. Eric was live from Frankensons. Thank you everybody who stopped by for that. I had a great birthday. It was awesome. So thank you for that. Speaking of Eric being at Frankensons, you can tell the story, my friend, but I know you took your son for his birthday, which is actually this weekend, I think, right? Or this
Yeah,
week,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's this coming week. Yeah,
To
yeah. He's
Frankensons. How was that, man?
as always. Frankensons is an amazing adventure each and every time, and it's just. I mean, I've been going to Frankensons for 30 plus years now, and like I said, and I've taken my son Diego with me ever since he was old enough to walk, and I mean, he's pretty much grown up in there, and yeah, he's turning 18 on Thursday and graduating from high school the very same day. So he's like, "Hey, Dad, do you think we could do something for my birthday like the week prior?" And I said, "Sure. What do you want to do?" He goes, "I want to go to Frankensons." I was like, "Man, you're talking to the right guy." So I said, "Hell yeah, let's go." So yeah, we went down there and had an amazing time. And I didn't buy much, but to me, Frankensons is a real treat just to walk through and just to see all of the amazing things that they have available there. I mean, you could spend 5 hours in there just looking at all the displays and all the just the great figures and everything else that comes along with the nerd and collector culture community in there. So yeah, it was an amazing time, man. And I saw some like really beautiful pieces. And trust me, the credit cards were burning a hole through my pocket, but I stayed stuck, stayed strong to my
Stay
guns.
strong.
And yeah, and I only bought one $20 figure the whole day, so I was pretty proud of myself walking out of there.
Pretty
Yeah, but you
impressive.
made that $20 figure look like a $30 or $40 figure.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
brother. Thank you.
That paint
Appreciate that.
job is beautiful, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
So you sent us a picture. There was some great statues there. This Batman statue, bunch of hot toys.
Oh yeah.
There's one booth has a bunch of Mythic Legions too, right?
Yeah, that's actually D-Pin. They were at Legions Con with us. The cat's name is Aaron. I don't know his last name. He also has like that. I don't know if he's part of that or whatever, but Big Head Studios or whatever, where they have all the different head sculpts for Mythic Legions and stuff like that. He's one of the approved retailers for Four Horsemen Studios, and he has a booth inside of Frankenstein. So yeah, I've known that guy for years and years, and yeah, so he was there. And but yeah, it's just like I said, there's just so much, dude. And like I said, I sent you guys probably 100 different photos, and that doesn't even break the seal on what's inside that place. It's just there's so much, dude. There's just so much. It's craziness.
Yeah, I just grabbed a couple because some of this. It was just endless. Some of the stuff.
Oh, it is, dude. It is endless.
That's so fucking good, dude.
Speaking of which, so this is what Ryan was referring to just a second ago, right, Eric? So
Yeah,
you grabbed this is a DC multiverse,
multiverse.
uh,
Yeah,
McFarlane, Mr. Freeze, and
yeah.
you hooked him up there.
Yeah, I really love the figure. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I am in no way, shape, or form a DC expert in any way. I'm just, I barely just started collecting DC figures, and mostly it's just been like Batman figures. Pretty much. So going with the Batman theme, I wanted to add a Mister Freeze to my collection, and I saw this figure and really loved the whole outlook of him as far as his bodysuit, his gear on him and stuff. But I mean, of course, as a customizer, I look at this and it just screamed, empty palette to me. You know what I mean? I was just like, okay, this thing wants to be painted some way, somehow. So I kind of started taking some screenshot images of different like artistic styles of Mr. Freeze, the way he looks. And I kind of wanted to do a blend of like almost like a comic book version slash maybe like the animated Batman series version. So I mean, like I said, I just kind of went with my own gut and put a paint job on him that I thought was way more fitting than what was given to us by McFarlane Toys, which I thought was really sadly played, where they could have easily added way more paint apps to this figure. And it's almost like they just like, let's just print it and package it and sell it. You know what I mean? There was so much opportunity lost in this figure. So I just wanted to give it, my best shot and just kind of make a figure for myself. And I thought it turned out pretty well. I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, you did a great job. I love the purples anyway. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Jesse agrees. Looks great, Eric.
Thank you, brother.
And it must have been a Freeze week. So Mezco Dr. Freeze started coming out. This is Ryan's right here. Ryan took a shot of him. I have him upstairs too. I still haven't opened him yet. I have so much crap to open now. We've talked a lot about, sort of streamlining because of, financial reasons, space reasons. And I'm right there with you. And it's been, I've sort of taken that seriously for most of the year. May has been intense. May has been wildly intense. I've got, just in the last couple weeks, I got Mezco Destro, Mezco Dr. Freeze, my Nemo, the Nautilus crew showed up. Haven't opened that yet. I got a big pile of loot in from Big Bad Toy Store. There's a ton of stuff there. I just today got my wife comes in from dropping my daughter off at ballet, and she's like, "You got a big box on the porch?" And I'm like, "I do." I'm like, "What is it say?" It's for me. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's for you." And I'm like, "How big is it?" She's like, "It's really big." I'm like, "What does it say on it? Does it say Big Bad Toy Store?" And she's like, "Dude, go get your box. It doesn't say anything on it." And I was like, "Oh crap!" And it is. I haven't opened up the boxes yet, but it's finally my Super 7 Wave 1 Silverhawks have arrived 2 years later. So we'll see. After all that, we'll see how they end up here. Eric Miller, EM Customs is here. What's up?
Going on, man?
What's up, Eric? Yeah, New York Figures Fanatics says that, McFarlane keeps them at $20 so you can paint them yourself. I did not know that. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not a huge McFarlane DC collector. So, I mean, I probably have maybe like 2 or 3 figures from McFarlane DC. So I did not know that. If that's the case, then okay, I totally understand. So, but yeah, like I said, when I saw it, I was just like, okay, like I'm maybe someone will enjoy the figure the way it is, but I definitely see it different. So yeah.
So, all right. Oh, that's the Bird Bros. That is obviously a Silverhawks reference. I feel you.
There you go.
And then real quick, I did mention that last weekend was my birthday. I'm a man that some people like, they don't want their birthday acknowledged. I'm like that. I'm not like that at all. I believe in celebrating yourself, celebrating your great times and your family and your friends. So I wanted to highlight again, because I think people here will get it, will understand that my family got me maybe the greatest birthday gift of all time without my knowledge at all. They went through my house and in my basement and nabbed like 10 or so of my figures. And they created a birthday video for me where each member of the family essentially was doing a review of an action figure. And that's everybody from, well, my wife and my sister-in-law sort of like did the intro and the outro, so they didn't do a review, but my daughter, my son, my little 5-year-old niece, my little 1-year-old niece, she can't really talk, but she did what she could, my mother-in-law, and my grandmother, who's right here. And I loved it so much. I had my sister-in-law send it to me. I had nothing to do with it. My sister-in-law edited it. I had nothing to do with it at all. But I think it's so hilarious. And I do think if you like toy reviews or anything like that, it's mostly Mythic Legions. I think you'll find it funny. It's on there. It's not there for views or anything like that. It's there just because I think it's amazing. It is on my YouTube channel. If you want to watch it, I think it's hilarious.
That's a great video, man.
Yeah, that's still my favorite.
Which
action
one?
People.
You like jazz?
Yeah. My grandmother was cracking up. She's like, action people.
Action people.
Thank you, Pablo. Appreciate it, brother. So yeah, that's great. Bro. That's there if you want to take a look. And then one last self plug. My latest review is up on my channel right here. It's a review of the Mythic Legions Gorgo and Attila 2-pack. I had some great contributors to it. If you watch the video, Michael Casper, Anthony Velez, Brad Jones, and my good buddy Ryan all contributed to it. I appreciated all that help. I'm trying to drag that thing across 1K. It's very close, but it sort of died over the last week. But we put a lot of work into it, and I don't like imposing on people, but I love doing things with people and having people be a part of something. So that one was fun. So
yeah, great review on that, by the way, too.
Yeah.
I love the whole like newscast thing. That was great, dude. So awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I don't know. That's one of the things I want to do too in talking about toys. That's one of the reasons why I love hanging out with you guys on a Saturday, because we can just kind of chill, talk about toys, and just talk about it. Because on the review side of it, I get so many ideas that I want to do to make it more interesting than just a regular review, that sometimes the ideas get too big and it just never happens. So one of the things I want to do is I do want to do like start doing some type of shorter form review, where I just, when I get a figure in, I can shoot it, be done with it in like an hour, and just talk about it. My wife came up with an interesting, I thought it was kind of a cool idea. She's like, call it TLDR, too long didn't review. 5 things you need to know, and just pull the figure out, and it's like 5 first impressions or something. And I was like,
I like it.
That's a really good idea. So
yeah, I think a lot of, and not to knock any reviewers, because I know that's their thing and everybody wants to see, everything about the figure from head to toe, whatever. But I think I lose a lot of interest in review segments on videos when it goes into like the articulation. Like, if you're an action figure person and you have, a collector, and you have, like, let's say a standard Mythic Legions figure, 1.0, 2.0, what have you. If a new one comes out, I mean, I don't necessarily need to know what the articulation is. Like, I already know, you know what I mean? Like, I've already been there. Like, you don't have to do each individual arm and how it rotates, and the elbow joint only goes to 45. We all know that, you know what I mean? And like I said, granted, it's I guess it's good to have for someone has no idea what articulation is in an action figure, but I think probably 98% of your audience that's watching your reviews is totally capable of understanding what that's all about. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think that, like I said, some of the reviews could be a lot better if there wasn't so much into going through that process of like, okay, here's how this leg bends, here's how this arm bends, this is how much the neck moves. It's like, okay, like, do a couple of poses and say, okay, look, the articulation's pretty good. Like, you get them into some different poses, and here's a couple shots I have of, here's a vanilla pose, here's like a swinging pose, here's a crouching pose, you know what I mean? To kind of show the articulation, strengths and weaknesses of the figure, if what it has. But to, like I said, to go do the whole standard, process of, each individual arm or leg or, thigh, or, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just can't, like I said, that kind of, I kind of lose interest, on watching stuff like that over and over and over again. I mean, we've been doing it for, like I said, we've been watching articulation videos for 30 plus years now in figures. So it's kind of like, okay, I think everybody gets that already, like what the figure is going to do or not going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I know there are a lot of people. There are people that are looking for that, and that's cool. It's funny you should say that though. Like, for me personally, when I'm watching a review, I've kind of said this before, and I don't mean it in a bad way. It's nothing to do with the review at all. They're doing, what a lot of people want to see.
No, absolutely.
My eyes kind of glaze over when we're going through the articulation. And this is sort of how I look at it. If you're looking for, if anybody that's out there is looking for like a really like, a straight up hard hitting review of a figure, that's a thorough review, that's going to give you a great look at this figure that you don't know anything about, is going to run through the articulation and all this different stuff about it, so you can inform your decision as to whether or not to buy the figure. To be honest with you, I'm probably not the right channel for you. There's guys that are already doing that 10 times better than I'll ever be able to do it. Check out,
and
we'll do that. Toy Bros got it. They're gonna do it 100 times better than I can.
Like, I love watching Dork Layer's reviews on all of the figures that he does. He does amazing reviews, and it's so, so into the figure and doesn't leave out any details. And I love that. I love that about his reviews. But when it comes to the articulation, I literally will scroll like all the way past it, and then I'll go right to my favorite part is looking at the different pop and swaps that he does with the figures, because it totally gives me ideas of like, okay, what else can I do with this figure aside from it just being a great figure standalone? You know what I mean?
That's why I like a lot of the newer videos that have that. They break it up into chapters, and they tell you if you're not interested in this part, just scroll ahead to
right. Yeah, absolutely.
I forget what it's called. It might be chapters.
I think it's just chapters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
do like the videos that have that they break it up so that way I can scroll right to what I need to scroll to.
Right,
And
right.
just for the record, Bill, unlike Eric, I watch every second of your videos. So you get
Same.
credit for the full play, and I watch it for the full. What's the max? That two, I think, two per person count. So, just kidding, but no, but yeah, no. I mean, I just I literally the way I look at it is I want to give you my idea about a figure. That part's true, but the most important thing to me is I kind of want to just make you laugh. I want it to be
Yeah.
fun to watch. I want to like turn it on and want to watch it. So that's sort of the way I look at it. So, um, that's it. Jesse agrees. Jesse Arnold says chapters are nice.
Absolutely.
Curtis Ackerman says I'd rather see cool poses, and I'm not even really the best poser, but sort of going off of that, I taking a cue a little bit from like Jay Hernandez, the way he does reviews too. He doesn't say here's the articulation. He just like
Starts
a
doing
bunch
it.
of crazy poses,
Yeah,
and you can
goes
see
for
what
it.
it can do. Um,
Yeah, that's a great point from Kirby, man. Like, yeah,
yeah,
like if you're reviewing a Spider-Man figure, show us that he can get
a
into
Spidey
some
pose.
Spider-Man poses. Yeah, do some
Mhm.
Spidey poses. Don't just vanilla pose him and then like swing his arm around in a circle and bend his arm past 45 and go, yeah, this is a great articulated. Put him in a pose that we probably want to display or photograph him in. You know what I mean? Like, show us what the figure can do. Don't I mean, sure, it might be articulated, but can he be posed? You know what I mean? Can he hold a pose? Like, I mean,
Curtis.
there's a lot of figures that, have real weak like knee joints or hip joints, and you try to put them into some crouching or like dynamic pose, and the the weight of the figure won't allow it to be held up, and it'll just keep falling over. And that's kind of the stuff that people want to know before they buy it. You know what I mean? Where they think, oh, I'm going to get this great figure, and then they try to put them on display in a cool pose, and the figure constantly falls off the shelf, and you're like, well, that was trash. You know what I mean? I mean, I wish I would have known that the joints were weak, or you know what I mean, or he just couldn't hold these type of poses, because obviously, like I said, a lot of us, we want those dynamic style poses with our figures, especially if we're going to photograph them. And if it can't hold, there's really no sense in getting it.
Yeah, that is one thing I do is if there is my reviews are have always generally been positive because I'm generally buying figures that I like. Dorclair says I always try to open my video with a decent pose on the turntable. I have noticed that,
Your
and it is
poses are
pretty cool,
fire too, bro.
Yeah.
His
incredible. Yeah,
poses are incredible. Though that's what I love, dude. I love seeing someone that could do a really dynamic, cool pose with a figure and have it on display where you could show people, look, this is what this figure can and cannot do. You know what I mean?
but I do think it's important. I agree that if there is some negative about the figure, that you call it. Like that's important, I think, to call out because if there's some glaring thing, it's important that you know. Because here's the thing: even some of my favorite figures have something glaring about them. There might be something wrong, you know. This is not really a fair comparison, but I don't know. One of my favorite figures of all time is my vintage trap jaw from when I was a kid. It's fucking,
Mm,
what 6 POA, right? Like it barely
yeah.
moves. Like this figure, this Ramen Toy Silverhawks figure, Quicksilver. Kurt, this is for you, Curtis. I love this action figure. This action figure is amazing. The right leg pops off all the time. So I think if you're going to buy this figure, you should know that ahead of time and be
Hmm.
like, you know what? If that's going to drive me crazy, maybe I shouldn't buy it.
Yep.
Um, Gorgo and Attila, incredibly ornate, detailed, beautiful figures. Gorgo can't hold his shield up. He cannot do it.
Yeah.
Attila cannot hold his hammer up. They cannot do it. So
Yeah.
just like if you know that ahead of time and you're willing to work around that, plus if you know it ahead of time, you might, if you know it going in, it's probably not going to bother you as much, I think. Or if
Yeah.
it's going to bother you, you just leave it alone, type of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like when the headless horseman figure came out, and a lot of people were displaying it, with the horse kind of up on it, rearing up on his hind legs, and
Mhm.
having that great pose with the pumpkin, you know headless horseman, like throwing the pumpkin head kind of thing. I mean, that's a beautiful way to pose that figure if you're just going to do it for a couple of minutes and shoot a picture of it. Having it on display like that is literally impossible. That horse and that figure will not hold that pose. The arm will obviously be weighted down by the head sculpt, And the more you do it, the looser that joint's going to get. And at some point, you're pretty much going to destroy that figure, and it's going to be like, it's not going to be posable at all. So it's that kind of stuff that, like, you could put it into a cool pose and tell people, hey, it'll do this pose or it won't do this pose, but I definitely wouldn't recommend like trying to display this like constantly, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you could do it once or twice or however many times you want to shoot it that way, but in the end, yeah, you definitely want to, give them that extra bit of information, even though it might be a negative point. It's at least the truth. You know what I mean? To not lead people down a false hope of like thinking, oh yeah, my figure can like hold these awesome poses, or hold this massive hammer in his hand, for months on end in my display case. It's not going to happen. It's just one of those things. Like you said, you have to work around it.
Call it out, Ryan. Go ahead.
What was it, dude?
No, I'm laughing at Bill's comment because he said he skipped Legion's articulation once and people crawled up my butt to tell me how I ruined their day.
I believe that.
Oh man, that's funny. Like I said, I mean, to each his own, man. I guess if people live for articulation segments in action figure reviews, I mean, I guess that's your thing, man. But I mean, I don't know. Am I stupid to think that, like I said, if you're a toy action figure collector of any type of action figure, I mean, I don't have very many, like, I don't know, like Mezco or SH Figure Arts or stuff like that. But the ones that I do have, I understand. Okay, I understand the articulation in them. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with Marvel Legends or Black Series or Mythic Legions. With everything, it's like I said, there's certain figures that articulate in certain ways. And like I said, if you're a collector of any of these lines, you obviously, if you own one or two of them, you know what they do or don't do. So it's not, like I said, I don't personally, just speaking for myself, I don't need to see each individual articulated part of the figure. But I guess if people can't live without it, then so be it. Sorry to hear that, Bill.
So I watch a lot of different reviewers' videos. I watch The Amazing's reviews, especially on the Common Rider figure arts. There are some times where he does the articulation breakdown only to show you that certain pieces are very fragile. Because there was a nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about, but it was from X-Aid. It was a Hyper Muteki figure.
X-Aid, obviously, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Hyper Muteki figure, it has this faceplate with these two spikes that come off the side, and he was like, all right, I'm going to change this on camera. He put it in and boop, something fell right off because he broke it on camera, and he was like, well, that's why you can't move it that way.
Greg,
what's up, Greg?
what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Greg?
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that obviously, like I said,
but that goes back to the posing too. He was
right
posing that while he was doing it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can say or do in a review process dealing with the articulation to more, inform the community of possible problems like that. That'll be more than just, the standard knowledge of, yeah, the elbow joint goes to a 45 or beyond a 45. I mean, it could be like, hey, make sure that you heat the elbows before you start posing these figures, because there's been instances in the community where people have already said that after buying this figure, they tried to pose the elbow and bend the elbow and they've snapped. You know what I mean? And that's it's kind of one of those things. So hey guys, kind of look out for that detail, and just be careful with your figures once you get them in hand, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, here, how about this question here? And it's sort of inspired by Curtis's comment. Curtis says, I don't need to see a 112 Mezco compared to a 1985 muscle figure. That's very funny. But I do know, Eric, I know in particular, this is one thing that matters to you, is you like, not like sameness, but I know that there's a certain uniformity. There's a certain logic you're looking for each shelf on your display. So with that in mind, how about the comparisons people do? Because that's a thing that can show you scale, look, different things like that. I'm not always into. I don't need. Sometimes I like the comparisons. Sometimes I don't. It depends on what we're looking at. What about you? Do you find that helpful?
I love the comparisons. I love seeing comparisons, and it makes no sense to have, yeah, like if you have like a Mezco '89 Batman with a skeleton Legion builder next to a Spider-Man figure like that, no one's going to display that like that. But seeing the comparisons in size to the figures standing next to each other is great. I love it. I love when people do that. That's one of those things that it gives you a visual reference of what these figures actually look like side by side. So if you have a Spider-Man and don't have a Mythic Legions figure, you can relate to how big or small these figures are and what the size of them are. So yeah, I totally appreciate all of the comparisons that people do on that. I love when people line up compare. I mean, obviously, yeah, you're not going to compare like Mezco next to a Muscles figure. That like stuff like that's ridiculous. But I mean, it's just one of those things where you want a variety of kind of comparisons to go by. And like I said, maybe not everybody has certain figures, but there's always, if you do multiples, we're like, okay, here's it next to Motu Classics figure, or here's next to an SH Figure Arts figure. One of those comparisons, someone's going to have one of those figures in hand where they can go, okay, now I know exactly or pretty, precisely how big or small this figure is comparative to what I have in hand in my collection. So yeah, I'm a total fan of it. I love it. I love seeing comparisons.
And one place that I think it's very helpful sometimes too is, so this is, you won't be able to see it. All right, well, this is the Silverhawks Super 7 Monstar still in the box. The point is the box is really huge, but with a really big figure that you don't really have, a frame of reference for, or a point of reference. I think that's very helpful to show you exactly how big we're talking about. When there's this figure that's big for the line, now put it next to something like a Mythic Legions figure or something like that, or a Black Series, something that this can really give you an idea of the scale of how big it is. That's pretty cool. And plus, I just like to seeing the different characters together. I think these couple of things from Bill are interesting. Bill says, I don't care what any individual tells me. When it comes to cold, hard data, people love the comparisons. And he says the comparison segment of my video is always the most watched section, which is interesting to me because typically comparisons, not all the time, but a lot of times, and I think in Bill's videos too, a lot of times come near the end. So even if you have an incredible, if I'm using the right terminology here, if you have an incredible playthrough rate, in other words, YouTube keeps track of the number of people that watch your video, and they keep track of how long they watched the video and when that drops off, right? And it's better the longer somebody watches your video. Okay, so I think he's probably going above my head a little bit here. My question was going to be, with that in mind, even if you have an incredible playthrough rate, by the time you get to the end, that's going to be the least watched portion of your video, unless you just have an audience that skips to the end. You know what I mean? Like, so the idea that Bill is saying that the comparisons are the most watched, I do find that interesting, but I think he might be using a statistic that I don't know how the comparison is. In other words, like a true data type of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And to Curtis's point, he wants to see a Mezco Wolverine next to a Mafex and a Marvel Legends, and he doesn't need to see it next to a He-Man. Understandable, and that's that too. If you're doing a review of a Wolverine figure, yeah, you're gonna say, okay, here's a Marvel Legends figure, here's a Mafex figure, here's an SH Figure Arts one. You know what I mean? To kind of give you a base of like how different each one of these versions of that figure is. But if you have something like a Mythic Legions figure, there's not really anything to compare it to. It's not like you go, oh, well, here's the Marvel Legends version of Mythic Legions. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you don't have any other choice but to, compare it to different brands or IPs. You know what I mean? To as far as and I think it basically it just measures up to a scale comparison is basically what the comparisons are doing. It's not like, oh, well, look how much better this one's painted than the Mafex Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's like it has nothing to do. The two have nothing to do with each other. It's just basically a size comparison to kind of let you know, like, okay, when you get these in hand, this is what you're dealing with as far as size of the figure.
And Bill says here, so when he said line by line before, he says that's what I meant by line by line. If I show a 6-inch figure, I show it with other 6-inch lines, which is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
All right, so that's cool. That makes a lot of sense. Bill, thank you very much for your input there. Although I'm calling bullshit on this right here. Curtis says yours are fine, Bill. That's true. Some reviewers go crazy. I do, but for other reasons. But I am almost positive. The reason why Curtis is saying this is because Bill has made it a point to put the Ramen Toys Quicksilver in the videos and in many of the comparisons. So I feel like Curtis's opinion on this was swayed easily by that. So I don't know if I can totally take that seriously. Here, look, Curtis agrees with me. Totally, he admits it. All right, so that's cool. Maybe we should do a show where we talk more about that. I didn't expect such a good conversation about just what's good in a review. What about Eric? Do you before we wrap this up? How about this? A couple of your go-to reviewers that you watch regularly. Besides me.
Dork Lair is definitely one of my number ones right now. Yours obviously, because I can't escape the great edits that you do inside of yours. My buddy that lives down here in Southern California with me, he goes by the handle Plastic Attic. My buddy George Johnson. Yeah, he George Johnson. Yeah. He's been a collector and friend of mine for years on end, and we hang out and go on toy hunts sometimes. And yeah, he doesn't do them as much, but he used to do some amazing. If you go back in some of his older video, like I remember he did the which was like, I mean, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, where I was just like, I have to get this figure. He did an amazing review on the Mezco Ronin Wolverine figure. And yeah, it's just, I mean, his reviews are amazing. His setup that he used to do for his reviews. Now he does more like what he does his videos are called like This Week in Fig Drip, meaning like what he's picked up or acquired during the week. And he's a huge toy hunter, so he's like the guy that's in 20 different Walmarts, Targets. He gets tons of packages from Amazon, and he'll sit there and open up all these new packages and show you all these new figures that he picked up. And you know, later on he'll do like, I mean, he doesn't do all of them because he collects like figures by the hundreds. It's just ridiculous. But he's always been one of my you know, I've been a fan of his for years, and like I said, as a friend, I always support his channel and stuff like that. But that's about it. I don't like I said, I don't really think I'm not really into the review thing anymore. Like I kind of, I don't know, I've kind of pushed past that, and I understand what figures are and what they are not, you know what I mean? So it's like, and really the community, having friends like you guys, and you know, talking on personal, you know, messaging and saying, hey man, what do you guys think of this figure? Or if you guys get a figure in hand, like you'll show it to me and oh man, I'm interested. Is it really a good figure? Oh yeah, it's totally good. Or like, no, stay away from this thing, it's crap. Or you know what I mean? So I kind of get the realness out of there, and I already know what I like and don't like. So it's like, when I go to buy figures, I don't necessarily have to watch a review on it. You know what I mean? I already know I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. If it's shit, then I guess I'll figure it out for myself. But I already pretty much know what I'm getting into beforehand. So I don't know, like the review thing is really low on my playlist right now.
What's up, Allison? How are you?
What's up, Allison? How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, my favorites, Dork Lair, Toy Bro. When I get a chance, Unparalleled Universe. I like his reviews a lot.
Yeah, Toy Bro's awesome too. He's awesome.
Toy Bro's fantastic. Yeah. And Unparalleled Universe is a good example of he and I are like, I know him, I don't know him, but it's obvious to me that what he's looking for out of a figure and what I'm looking for are two different things. But I know that going in, and I enjoy his reviews. I'm in the Geek Dad Life channel all the time, although more for the live streams than the reviews. Yes, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Allison's also in the Geek Dad Life community.
Nice.
Dorklair says, straight truth from LeBron. The small group chats are where most of my main collecting community interactions happen.
Yep.
It's where most of my interactions happen, period.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Ryan? Any last thoughts on the whole Toy Tuber thing?
So in no particular order, D Amazing, Dorklair, Toy Bro, and Just Jay. But I like the Amazing like, yes, I watched the reviews, but I like his plastic party where he breaks down a lot of the posing, like for toy photography.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
That's a cool little niche to have in your reviews, or you know.
Yeah. Plus, in the groups, like any Discord groups, I'm in the Geek Dad Life Discord group, Toy Galaxy, the Dork Lair Collectors group, Mythic Legions Cabal. Like you'll get a lot of good stuff from those two. So when I watch reviews, most of the time, I'm watching for entertainment. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I
yeah,
also
and,
like the Dork Lair Collectors group because a lot of the time when something's on sale, I see that you posted in there or
yes,
someone posted in there. So a lot of good deals. You don't miss it.
yeah. And then somebody will talk shit to me, be like, "Oh, thanks, my wallet really needed this." And I'm like, "Listen,
Yeah.
this is a really good deal." Like I didn't. Well, why did I? I didn't need to buy a Mayfex Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It was a great deal. There it is. Now it's here.
Speaking of Mayfex, I just got the Mayfex Steel. That is a great figure.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. Are you familiar with the Reign of the Superman?
I'm not.
Uh,
But I know that Mayfex has been doing a lot of like they did like the Hush stuff. They did a whole bunch of Hush stuff, and so I'm not surprised that they're doing another arena, another area.
yeah, it has its flaws, but for the most part, it's a great figure. And I like the color choice that they chose. It wasn't just a silver, it has kind of this blue hue to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it. It's in the other room. Otherwise, I would grab it. But I saw that Curtis, yeah, there it is. He got that on pre-order too, or it's coming.
Cool. All right. All right. So 47 minutes in. AS6, bro. All Star 6 happened.
What a wave. What
It
a wave.
is
Fucking phenomenal, bro.
so yeah, so this is sort of the meat of today's show. We're talking about All Star 6. Mostly everybody here is probably familiar with it. If you're not, Four Horsemen Studios, the Mythic Legions line. This is a sort of a hybrid wave of figures that is up for pre-order right now, where the first chunk of it, not the first half, the first third, I guess, or a little bit less than that, are reissues of prior figures that the fans got to vote on. So we got to vote out of a field of 20 picked by the Horsemen. We got to pick 3 figures that are going to be re-released. And then there was a smaller subset of 4 figures where we got to pick one for the alumni figure. So this is an older figure that's previously been released on an All-Star wave, but is going to be released again pursuant to fan vote. And the cool thing that's about it is these are pretty much all figures that are from years past that are difficult to get now, that if you want to buy the figure, they're incredibly expensive. So if they're going to be reissued in an All-Star wave, the figure might not be of the same detail, accessories, soft goods that you're getting now, but you're getting a reissue of pretty much the same exact figure being remade at the $37 price point. And this year it's Gorthok, the Shadow Orc, Bolthar, this dwarf here with the big giant horns, Sir Ignatius, the little pearlescent knight over here with the wings on his head, was the alumni figure, and then Clavion, this red skeleton here. So I don't think we've had a chance to talk about it since the winners were announced, guys.
No.
So the only one of these that I voted for was Clavion. What are your thoughts on these guys,
Ryan?
So that's the only one I didn't vote for was Clavion.
Mhm.
But
Son of a bitch.
I do not have him and I will be buying, so it's a win-win either way.
Absolutely.
So I just filled another slot, but I am the more I see it, I'm sold. You guys pulled me over. I'm in. But I'm excited for Ignatius being in there because I love that pearlescent paint, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the way, like in pictures, when you pose it a certain way and the armor catches the light, it really adds to that effect.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because from the alumni wave, I voted for Pixis, which is the Pixel Dan tribute figure. He's a skeleton with a blue Mercurian armor. Had my heart set on him because I really thought he was going to win. I really did think he was going to win. There were other people that are more experienced than I am who were saying that, yeah, we think he's going to win too. Skeletons always do well. The whole Necronominus wave is going on right now, so that makes sense. The Pixel Dan thing can't hurt, I would think, so that should help. And he ended up losing, and it's too bad because Pixis is one of the older figures that I would consider ponying up the high price point for. So to get him at an all-star price would have been amazing. But I will say that didn't happen. You win some, you lose some. He lost the vote. With Sir Ignatius winning the vote, I'm very excited about getting Sir Ignatius now because of that pearlescent paint. Because I think he'll look great with Gadriel. The angel who's has a similar color scheme, but she's just an amazing figure, and I do have her. Clavion was the one I've wanted Clavion for a couple of years now. The interesting thing about him is that when he won, Trevor 1/6 shooter. Here he is, Trevor 1/6 shooter.
Speak of the devil. What's going on, Trevor?
By the way, ears must have been ringing.
If you are not, anybody that watches this, if you're not already subscribed to the 1/6 shooter YouTube channel, what are you doing? Subscribe to his channel because number one, he has a great live show as well with Bill from the Dork Lair and Nate Strong, who's a great photographer, Corona 4 on Instagram. They do Legion's Lounge every 2 weeks. But Trevor has also been doing a lot of news videos, like during the week, earlier in the day. So if you put your notifications on, you can get Trevor Williams giving you some very cool toy news during the day. He does a lot of 1/6 scale stuff, so a lot of stuff that I wouldn't otherwise really know about. But check it out. He went 3 or 4 times this past week where he was given some great news. So subscribe to the 1/6 Shooter YouTube channel. I wanted to pull this up there because when Clavion won, yes, don't forget to turn your calendars.
Already done, month. Baby.
June is a cat. June is a cat month, right?
And it's a great picture.
It's a great picture. So we're talking about Trevor also did a calendar that's just a bunch of his. Each month is a different photo of his, an action figure photo. Excuse me. And this month's photo is a battle between Kauros and Purplor, right?
Mm-hmm. Freaking awesome shot, man. I love it.
So when Clavion the Red Skeleton was announced as the first winner, he was the number 1 vote getter for All Stars 6. They posted, Four Horsemen posted, Trevor did new pictures of Clavion, which are awesome. He looks like an awesome figure. But what I've put up on the screen here is a side-by-side of the photo of Clavion that was up on like Big Bad Toy Store as sold out forever and was up on the Source Horseman website for the character. And as you can see, the one on the left is just an extremely old photo. Like this is from years and years ago. And the skeleton looks like a very red, right? Like there's a wash there. You can see it, but it's like very bright red. And I always thought that's why people wouldn't want him because the paint job wasn't that detailed. But that's kind of why I did want him because I'm like, it just looks cool. It doesn't even look that realistic. And I kind of liked like how red it looked and everything. It looks like I don't have a Clavion. Do you? I don't remember. I know, Ryan, you don't have one. No. Eric, do you have one?
No.
Okay. Does he look this realistic? Oh shit. Sorry. Sorry. So in Trevor's photo, there's more of a black wash. It looks like it looks more like something that might come out now. So that's what I assume that's what it looks like. And I was surprised that it wasn't quite as red as the old picture looked. And I'm assuming that's just because it's the picture. So thoughts? Anything on that, guys? Or am I the only one? I'm probably the only one.
No, I dig it. I dig what you're saying. For me personally, Calavian is one of those ones. He was not, he was my only one out of the 4 that I did not pick. But yeah, he's an awesome figure regardless. I think it's a great addition to anybody's collection. Any of the 4 that came in this wave. I mean, if you think about it, if you picked up all 4 of those figures prior to them being available now, you're shelling out easily $800+ for those 4 figures, and I don't think there's anyone here or in the collecting community that really wants to do that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to have these available now at this price point, regardless of, like I said, I know a lot of people are like, oh, these figures are kind of boring, they don't have any much accessories, the details. Well, you got to realize they're from like the first waves of the 1.0 start of Mythic Legions, where this is where it all started. So as a true collector and fan of the line, I mean, you just have to appreciate what you're being given the opportunity to purchase here. I mean, and like I said, and this does not happen that often. So when these all stars figures, become available, yeah, you got to look at the long game. You got to look at how much money you're going to be saving to add these particular figures that are super hard to come by. I mean, even if you do have the money, they all 4 of these figures are super hard to acquire. And like I said, it's just an opportunity, especially for newer collectors too. Even older collectors like us. I don't have any of the 4 that were voted in. I voted 3 of the 4, and this Calavian is just a bonus for me. And like I said, all 4 of them are going to be an excellent addition to my collection. And for me, the Calavian, I'm not necessarily a fan of the red skeleton. I love skeletons. I'm not a fan of the red skeleton, but for me, he's a shoo-in. He's going to go straight to my Fury shelf. I have a shelf dedicated to the Fury clan and the Furious 4 guys, and all of my red style characters are all up there, and he's definitely going to go right there in there with him. I think he'll fit perfectly in. So
yeah.
Yeah, and Trevor indicated earlier, he was like, that Clavion was never actually that bright or shiny of a red. That's just the picture. Curtis, where are you at? Hell no. Somebody get Curtis out of here, please. Somebody, security.
Yeah.
So we have heard that, the Horsemen, they're not as enamored with All-Stars as some of the fans are, because, the figures, as we're about to see, the figures they're putting out now are more highly detailed.
Absolutely.
Incredible accessories, incredible cloth goods, just all this stuff. So yes, it's great going forward. What's up, Casper?
Casper.
But like All Stars is fun. Like I hope they and there's
absolutely.
been some speculation that they might not do it at one point. They haven't, I'm assuming it's at least going to go on for one more year, because I think if they ever stop it, I think they'll probably tell us. I think it's so much fun for the month or whatever it is that the voting goes on for, everybody campaigning on Facebook.
Oh, that's great. The campaigns are awesome.
It's so funny. And yeah, dude, there are people out there, you know what I mean? There's old school collectors that are filling holes in their collections. There's completionists. So no matter when you came into the line, you're a completionist. And this is a way to complete the line without spending incredible money for one of these figures. Sort of to your point, what you said just a second ago, Eric. I was listening to the replay of Curtis and the gang, their off-world after show, the after show from last night, talking about the All-Star 6 wave while I was folding some laundry over here. And somebody indicated that if you had just bought both R and Clavion like a month ago or something like that, it's more than all of the all-in would be.
Yep.
For this entire wave, you would have spent more, almost twice, not quite, I don't think, but like, maybe almost no, not twice, but like more than the whole all-in would have been for this whole wave. And I think that's awesome. And you could even see like there were some people that really wanted Sir Galaron and didn't get him, but think of how like happy those people would be if he gets in,
Yeah.
Hashtag stop looking back.
Listen, we can look forward and look back, Curtis. We have 2 eyes. Okay.
Yes.
We can look back at the same time. So that's Clavion. I'm happy he made it. He was basically, him and Pixis were the ones that I wanted the most. So I'm happy I got one of those.
Yeah.
Pumped to have him in the collection. The funny thing is, there's a lot of people are like, well, I can just paint my own Clavion. I might have trouble painting the one on the right. I think I can do the one on the left. I could do the one on the left.
Yeah.
I could probably paint that red and get myself a little chrome marker and do the rest if I need to.
Well, at first I was going to be, I was with Curtis, but like I said, you guys
Not to
pulled
rub
me
it in or anything.
No,
I do have one of those too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one, dude. If I
Yeah.
put it this way, here's the thing though, and I do want to keep us going after this, but one thing that did occur to me is that what they say is that they, meaning the Four Horsemen, that when there are figures that come close in All Stars but don't quite make it, that informs their decisions for the future too. So those figures might make it back into a future All Stars wave, or they might figure out something else, like Blue Hagnon, right? Which I feel like they stuck in the previous All Star waves just for a goof, you know. But like Cullen campaigned hard for Blue Hagnon, so did I. I really wanted him. And he showed up in a retailer wave. He never won an all-star vote, but we still got him. Now I'm like, all right, because Pixis is a figure I would buy, spend a big price tag on. Maybe not going rate, but maybe close to it. Do I do that? Or do I wait another all-star cycle just to see, just in case he pops in there? So we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's check out some chat here real quick before we move on to the next thing. Eric Miller says, I got 3 out of 4. So I guess he voted for 3 out of 4. The fourth one was Galeron.
Yeah, Galeron was
one
my
I wanted
fourth
most
as well.
to lose me. Next year, Galeron will be victorious. I tell you what, if Galeron is back in the vote next year, Eric, I will campaign for Galeron for you. If Pixis is in the alumni again, if there is an alumni, you campaign for Pixis, I'll campaign for Galeron.
The only downside is the people, and I get it, to each their own, but the people that need to let you know that it's not what they picked, it's a hard pass for me.
Yeah.
Or
easy pass.
Yeah, I'm happy you guys got it, but I'm not getting it. That's fine. Just don't announce it. We're cool with you not getting it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Eric says deal, probably.
Yeah.
It's a long ways away. Bill Claire 4-4. I don't hear this a lot, where all 4 votes made it in. Congratulations. I think that's awesome. I got 1 in this year. I don't think I got any last year, right? Oh no, I got Azar. Azar was one of the ones I voted for last year. That's my thing. I get 1 a year.
So this is Michael Casper.
Oh, I was doing the same thing. Sorry.
Is that
Michael Casper says, I got a Casper boner with this reveal. Going to have hold on, Casper. I hope you're home alone. I hope you're home alone.
Yeah.
Hopefully this works. Are you guys ready for this?
Nail. Bill hit the nail right on the head with that comment.
Is this not going to work? Motherfucker. Sorry, I'm trying to do a thing here. Fine, we'll do it live. Never mind. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Share. Okay, so now that's up, right? All right, here we go. There we go. So the theme for me for the reveals last night, hold on to your butts, Casper.
Harryhausen all day, baby.
There you go.
Freaking one of the best scenes ever, dude. One of the best animated scenes ever. So freaking awesome. I love that scene.
Yeah, I tried to embed the video there.
Yeah, it's so good,
so yeah,
dude.
so that was how I felt about the whole wave here. Curtis is a hard pass on All Stars. That's fine. He got his Gorthok now. He's taking his Gorthok and he's going home.
That's it.
Bill from the Door Claire, quoting from the Cabal from 29 posts. Anyone who picked these figures is a moronic jackass, but I'm happy for those.
Wow, man. Like I said, jeez.
Listen, like I always say, there's a way to do it. You know, we're
Yeah.
all passionate about this stuff. I want to talk about it. I know a lot of other people want to talk about it too. When you talk about stuff, it doesn't mean everything you're going to say is going to be positive, but like there's a way to talk about stuff, right? Like we
Just don't be a dick.
disagree about stuff all the time, but it's like you can disagree about it, talk about it, and be like, all right, what's the next thing we're talking about? You know? I don't know.
Yeah, but there's a with the way they handle it, there's a difference between a discussion and just being argumentative for argument's sake.
Right.
Everybody likes Bill's comment. Yep, Jason and the Argonauts.
Yep.
Stop motion Skellies for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm pumped about this whole thing. Let me see. Hold on a second.
Yeah. When I remember when I got my very first, 1.0 skeleton Legion builder and in hand and was playing with this thing, the first thing that came to mind was having, multiples of these and recreating that Jason the Argonaut scene, because I was like, oh my god, I was like, this totally reminds me of that scene, these skeleton Legion builders. So yeah,
the Raider did that for me. So Bill says, oh sweet, now Saturday Day Live is silence and criticism. It's funny you should say that, because there's that old Biggie song, you're nobody till somebody kills you. We're not talking about killing here. You're nobody till somebody starts giving you snarky comments. And we did get on I've gotten them before on a solo video before too, but like on one of our lives, we were talking about something like this, the same kind of thing. And I got a snarky comment, something like this, that it was very disappointing that we were talking about that people shouldn't be allowed to give their opinions or something like that, when we never said anything like that. We just said, what? Here we go, guys. This is it. What's the number one rule?
Be cool.
Be cool.
Just be cool.
Be cool.
Don't be a dick. It's not that hard.
Cool.
Yep.
You can have an opinion, but just forget it. Let's just move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We can agree to disagree. That's it.
Oh
that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
It's what we here for. It's what we're here for. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Good job, sweetheart.
Did you put that in the laundry?
What?
That in the laundry?
No, but I folded all those clothes.
Those are good, but okay. I don't. Okay.
Those are good, but what the? Next, she's gonna be like, "Thank you for silencing my criticism."
Yeah, I was about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
JG says snarky comments are usually harmless, in my humble opinion. True, but then snarky comments, reacting to the snarky comments, also can be harmless. And then it just turns into a complainception, which is fine too, because then I have an opportunity to comment with my homemade complainception meme. So that's fine too. So I can do that. And sometimes, and I'll also acknowledge sometimes stuff gets lost in translation on the internet. Like you forget that you're not actually having a conversation with somebody you know most of the time, even though you might know some of the people. But when you're making a post online, sometimes dry humor doesn't always come across. Although I think for the most part, what we're talking about here is probably not dry humor. But
yeah, and they can't tell tone through text, so they take it a certain way already. Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. Word. So just real quick, some of the details here before we take a closer look at some of these awesome figures. The pre-order for All-Star 6. So the 4 figures we just sort of mentioned real quick just now. And the new figures that were released last night, which we're going to take a look at right now, is underway right now and goes through 11 p.m. Sunday, July 9th. Okay. Most of the figures are $37 each, except for the horse is $65. The Clegane guy, Barodoc, is $65 as well, right? The all in and then the packs are different, but the all in is $4.95. So that goes through 11 p.m. Eastern. I just wanted to call out too. I thought it was cool. Maybe this is always there. I just noticed it. In the sale promo post on storehorseman.com, it says all photos amazingly shot by Trevor Williams 1/6 shooter. And those photos are really great. We're about to take a look at some of those. And soft good prototypes fabricated by the Dynamic C. Jessam team. Also correct. Photo soft goods are insane. Hi, sweetheart.
I'm just saying you're doing a good job.
I just turned around and my wife was just looking at me smiling, thinking I'm hot.
Planning your death.
Planning my death. And again, on the same point, Bill says people tend to advocate for the right to everyone to be able to share their opinion unless that opinion is about their opinion. Correct. Thus, complainception. Sorry. Sorry. I was
just reading that same one.
JG says, like in the after party last night, you'd think the only important thing for Four Horsemen fans is that they are a better value than Marvel Legends. Clown face. And Curtis says these whoa. Beef. Hold on a second. But no, I mean, listen, I don't know if you're looking if you're into the line at all and you like these figures, I have the same reaction too. I don't necessarily go to the Marvel Legends part because I do feel like Mythic Legions are on a different level.
Yeah.
But that is a comparison that makes sense. Like if you think Mythic Legions figures are on a different level than Marvel Legends and the price point on the pre-order is not that much different, it's worth noting. I think it's more than worth noting. I think about it in terms of Mezco's that a lot of things about the new figures are very much on Mezco level, or if they're not there, it's very close when it comes to soft goods, when it comes to the accessories, all the detail and everything. The only thing I think Mezco has over Mythic Legions is probably articulation and light up features.
Yeah.
And it's
light up,
and they do like Batman and stuff. It's not
Hey,
so
real quick, guys. I just got a really awesome phone call.
What's up?
Walter Hagen and his wife and his kid, they're on the freeway heading southbound, and they're probably less than a half hour away from my house, and they're gonna stop by and come pay a visit to the LeBron lair. So I'm
Nice.
and I might have to jump off pretty quick here. So sorry. I mean, like I said, as much as I want to hang out, dude, like I said, when you got the madman, heading to the house, definitely the world has to stop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super, super pumped about that.
That's awesome. And of course, give him our best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Walter was another great dude who was good enough to hop on the birthday live last week. The ambassador, the official ambassador for Four Horsemen, Walter Hagen, one of the many big reasons this line is getting bigger and bigger for all of us Four Horsemen cucks.
Yeah,
proud of it.
I'm syndicated.
Damn proud.
Which is funny. If that's an insult in the cabal, who joins a Facebook group for figures they hate?
yeah.
But exactly. It sort of seems like people do that.
Yeah. I think we're all cucks here, dude. So don't knock it. You know what I mean? Don't knock it at all.
Greg says he's getting out of most Mezco except for some Rumble Society. Eric Miller says Mezco's not for me. I tell you what,
I've been drawn into the Mezco game only because of you two dumbasses.
I love them. I think they're so great.
But it's been awesome. It's like I said, it's
they're
something totally new to me, and it's been great. And comparatively, like I said, I don't really try to compare Mezco to Mythic Legions because it's two totally different things. But as far as the soft goods are concerned, yeah, I mean the game is totally being stepped up by Four Horsemen. I mean, by leaps and bounds. And I mean, I don't think they could have picked a better person than the CGSM team to support
100%.
Their needs and their wants. And man, they are just fucking knocking it out of the park. It's so good.
And it really is. It really is. Hold on a second. Let me check this out. It really is an example of. Hold on a second. I think it's incredible. I think it's incredible that they keep upping the game. You know what I mean? So the bringing in the CGSM team to do the soft goods is just an example of, them looking at their own line and being like, all right, what can we improve here? They had soft goods. So for a soft goods fan, that's cool. But they're like, maybe we can do like awesome, really incredible soft goods. So they went from their, and now you take the soft goods that are coming out now. If you compare them to the old stuff, there's no comparison. The new stuff is so good.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right.
Yeah. David Williams says that he bailed on Mezco himself. They just haven't been doing anything for you. That's good. And here's the thing, because if you are going to cut something out, Mezco's not a bad thing to do it with, because every figure that you cut out is like $100 or more that you didn't spend. So
it's almost 4 Legion figures.
Highly articulated. What's happening? Thank you for stopping by again. Landed prices are very different for collectors outside the U.S. Legends and Legions are not as similarly priced for the rest of the world. I don't know. I wonder what that means. I wonder that if that means that Legions are that much more expensive because of shipping than Legends are, because the Legends are probably... You're muted, bro.
Sorry.
Shipping and what is that? The import.
And Hasbro's probably already shipping the figures already.
People overseas get killed on exports and stuff like that. I feel so bad for people that have to buy Mythic Legions and have them shipped across the pond. Wow, it's stupid expensive.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to see here. Keep talking here, guys.
Well, like we were saying about the soft goods in the green room, like even if they raised the price, like if a standard figure with that level of soft goods and the accessories that are coming with them now, even if they bump that up to a $60 figure, the value's still there.
Oh, totally, dude. Totally. Like I said,
this up right now.
I'm totally surprised that all of those named characters weren't at a $45 price point. Totally freaking blew my mind that none of those characters were at $45. I totally would have expected it and totally would have paid it.
Here we go. Let's do it this way. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to... Curtis just sent over an update that has got to be... Here we go, right here. So there's an update to the Deacon horse. There's an update to the Deacon horse. Curtis, thank you. First of all, Curtis Ackerman just clued me in on this. Thank you. Because this is a big deal. So they have changed the Deacon horse. And not that one. This one.
He said in Canada the Legends figure is 35, but the Legions are 65.
Oh wow.
All right, so they've changed the look of the look of the horse. So listen to this.
Wow.
I like that.
Sorry, Curtis, I'm not really calling you. Sorry. All right, so this is from Four Horsemen Toy Design. Everybody can see this. It's online right now. From the Four Horsemen, quote, "We recently revealed the Deacon horse figure as part of our new Mythic Legions All-Star 6 wave. This horse was designed based on the historical look of Templar horses. Unfortunately, that design also shared some elements with other connotations we certainly did not intend."
Did we not have that conversation last night?
Yeah.
Did I not call that, dude? I'm sorry. I didn't want to go down that road, but I called it, dude.
To make sure that Deacon fits in with the realm of mythos and has no connections to any existing real-world designs, we've made a few adjustments to the look of this figure. Deacon will now come with brand new head and neck armor in place of the soft goods headpieces. Additionally, the Templar crosses have been replaced with the faction symbol of the Order of Etheron, making this steed's allegiance clear and further tying him into the fantasy world of mythos. The photo here shows the new armor as an unpainted sample. In the coming days, we will add new images of this armor fully painted on Deacon. Wow.
Absolutely.
Man,
great
huge news.
These guys are
great
awesome,
decision, dude. I called that last night. As soon as I saw that horse, I said, oh, man. I said, I'd hate to say that, but I think Uncarded Reviews comment, that's exactly what I said. I said, I'm sorry to say this, but dude, that does not sit right with me. That horse,
I think we all had that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, but that totally like screams clan to me, and I'm like, I'm not down with that at all.
And here's the thing, and again, Four Horsemen have not said what it's about, but I think we all get it.
Yeah,
I did not see it at first, But when like it was said, when you said that, I looked at it, I'm like, holy shit, I can't unsee it now. No, I did not. I did not reach out to the horseman or anything like that. I just kind of kept him to myself because I'm like, I know that's not what they intended with this horse.
Absolutely
we want
not.
to make
Absolutely
a Templar
not.
horse,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Historically
absolutely
accurate.
Not. Yep.
But it just sucks that a certain group kind of twisted all that shit. And
yeah. I
that,
just, like I said,
great decision to do that.
But here's
no,
the,
and I'll tell you right now, I love this new design way better, dude. Way better.
Oh yeah, I like the.
I tell you what, I'm not gonna lie to you. I told you guys, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that horse. I'm just not.
No, I wasn't gonna buy it either. I really wasn't, and not because of the design, not because of the design, only because, like I said, I already have like 500 horses, so I'm like, the horse was the low man on the totem pole of this entire wave. So I was like, if I do not get that horse, it's not going to be any loss to me at all. So, but it had nothing to do with the soft goods design. It was just that it was just another horse, and to me, I was like, that's the last thing I need another one of in my collection. But this horse, I'll tell you, damn, okay, like
I kind of like the faction symbol better.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not gonna. So that's a big deal. Thanks for popping that in, Curtis.
Yeah.
I do think this is better. Bill says he was going to buy it and remove the mask.
Yep.
I honestly wasn't even going to buy it, but I wasn't going to like do like a campaign or anything about it because I know that's not what they meant.
No. Like I said, I mean,
but the fact that that got back to them and they were like, obviously they were like, holy shit, and they changed it that quick. I think that speaks highly of
mad respect to them, at least hearing people out and saying, hey, you know what, this might be a problem. You know what I mean? Even if, you know what, out of 10,000 fans, even if it's one or two people that might be, hey man, look, maybe you guys don't see it, but this is what we're seeing. For them to have the balls to listen to that and step back and go, okay, we need to rethink this and to make a decision like this. Fucking kudos to them, dude.
100%. I agree. And here's the thing,
dude.
First of all, as a business move, it's the right move. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, I don't place any negative thing on the Four Horsemen at all for design for that design or C. Jessam. To Eric's point, no negative connotation to the Four Horsemen or C. Jessam at all.
No.
The look of that horse with that, I just personally, I'm like, all right, I'm just not going to buy it. And now I might actually buy this. So
yeah.
I do feel I'm sure that there's no question C. Jessam and them worked hard on that that soft goods ensemble, which is an impressive soft goods ensemble. It really is. This is most of it with a helmet, which I think is cool.
Basically,
Trevor says the Caprison. Trevor, you and your Caprison and the dressage and all of that. The Caprison / hood was an accurate look for the Templar. Unfortunately, assholes co-opted it since then, and people can't unsee these things. I suggested armor this morning with Jeremy, and they had already made them. So I think it's and it is still the C. Jessam design. Uncarded Review says self-censorship is the death knell of creativity. I could probably not disagree with that more. I think this is, I think, and again, I respect your opinion. I don't agree. I think the Four Horsemen sort of looked at, and creativity never exists in a vacuum, right? This is an organic, I think the Four Horsemen look at this as an organic relationship. They can make literally whatever they want. They don't need us to make whatever they want. But they make what they want and sort of we buy it, and they don't even want to send a potentially wrong message. Is the message I'm getting from this is that, you know what? That's not what we freaking intended, right? I think most of you know this, but we don't even want the wrong message sent by accident.
Yep.
I don't see, to me, that's not a bad thing. To me, that's a good thing,
Yeah. And like I said, to give the community the respect to say, hey, you know what? We've listened to your thoughts on this or your view on this or how you interpreted this, and we're definitely listening. You know what I mean? I don't see there's no other toy community or toy company out there in the world that would even budge on something like that. You know what I mean? They would just do it, sell it, buy it. You don't like it, fuck you, give us your money. You know what I mean? That's not the way these guys roll. So it's like I said, complete respect on that decision, man.
I
Yeah,
think
and
this
even
looks better anyway.
I sort of think it looks better.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I do. That my honest opinion is I think it looks better. Yeah, and then David points out, and then Uncarded Review says if people knew the actual history of the Templar Knights, 50% of these figures wouldn't be made. That's probably true too, but there's a balance going on there, right?
Yeah.
Like the Templar Knights that the Four Horsemen are making are inspired by historical designs and mythological designs. They're not supposed to be one-to-one recreations, I don't think. Like this isn't your like how like biblical adventures are action figure recreations of religious art type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is not that. These are designs that are inspired with them. Now, certainly Elijah and Enoch seem to be, very good ones. I don't think that that's and I guess each person can draw that line for themselves. The balance there is these are not one-to-one recreations of a historical figure. It's using, this is a Templar Knight in the realm of mythos, which is a planet that doesn't exist. So
I'm 100% with 1/6 shooter. I never liked them being Templar. Honestly, it's too based on our own reality. Yeah, it's it's totally like that's why I told you guys before the Templar figure is my least favorite figure in the entire Mythic Legions line. I just like I said, it's I don't know. There's something about it that I just don't like going along with Mythic Legions. For me, it just does not work with my collection. But like I said, to each his own. If people love Templars, which there are plenty of people that do, that's fine. But for me personally, it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I would say, listen, if nobody came and asked me, of course, but I would say, would I prefer Templar or some original design? I think that would, to me, in my head, that makes more sense in the realm of mythos. But they know what they're doing. Curtis loves Templars. People do. Part of the reason is I think that people outside of the line too see that and they think it's cool. Like I remember I went to go visit my dad a couple years ago, 2 years ago. And I just had this idea. I wanted to give him a figure, right? So I brought down like 3 or 4 Mythic Legions figures in package. And I was like, you're going to think this is stupid, but I just want to give you a gift. I want to give you one of these. If you want to pick one. And he looked at him and he did laugh or whatever. And he took a picture with it, but he picked a Templar,
Yeah.
because that's sort of what spoke to him, probably because of the cross and because, it was there. So,
well, it's something that most people can if they know nothing about Mythic Legions, they see the Templar Knight and they know exactly what it is, even without knowing what it is. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, look at that Templar Knight. Everybody knows what a Templar Knight is and looks like. So they their focus shoots right to it, rather than if you put out like a Kauros or like a Lord Dragul, or you'd go like, well, what the hell is that? You see Templar Knight and you know exactly as soon as you see it what it is. That's why.
Yeah, and I don't think Templars are going anywhere, No,
not at all. And like I said, I totally respect everybody that loves the Templar Knights, and I know there's a bunch of people out there who have huge army building style collections of the Templar Knights, and that's freaking awesome. But like I said, for me personally, it's just one of those characters that just isn't in my wheelhouse for that.
And then Uncarded Reviews says that the Monkey King is an offensive appropriation of a certain cultural image. # cancel the Monkey King. I get the feeling we're just not going to agree on this. I don't think it's the same thing at all. The Monkey King is it's a mythological character from another part of the world, from legend. And again, another character that doesn't exist in real life. So I don't know. I disagree. I don't think they're the same thing at all. I think this was a good move. I think it speaks well of them. People that don't agree with me, that's cool too.
Yeah, to each his own, man. It's all good. It's not for everybody, and that's fine. It's I mean, there's people who have certain religious beliefs that don't believe in like Christmas and stuff like that. So I mean, the Father Christmas figure could have been an offense to them. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you have to buy it. That's fine. Other people will buy it, and there'll be figures out there that you like, and that's that's what it's all about. Like I said, there's so much open space to weave your way through this collecting community and this toy line to find something that's in your niche, in your wheelhouse, something that's in your heart that you go, man, that's really what I'm here for. If there's other parts of it that you're not here for, hey man, that's cool too. You know what I mean? That's totally cool.
Yeah, to me, some of that comes close to the whole. There's a knee jerk reaction to anything. You know, the whole it's gonna happen. If it hasn't happened already, there's gonna be comments. They're gonna be like, woke, wokey, woke, wokey, woke.
Right.
Which I don't agree with. I think it's a bullshit response to anything. You know, and that's sort of how I feel. I think I'm not the Four Horsemen, so I'm not inside their heads as to how this whole decision making process happened. But from the outside looking in, I think this speaks well of them.
Yeah,
and I think it was the right move.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So that's it. So wow. So I didn't see that coming.
Absolutely, man. Wow, what a what a great segue there, huh?
And I'll leave it at that. But uncarded reviews, I'm sorry if we don't, or if we're not on the same page as far as what we're talking about with this thing not being the same thing as making a figure about a mythological character from another country, we're just never gonna make sense to each other, because I don't know how else to explain it. If you think those two things are the same thing, I don't agree. I think it's obvious why they're not the same thing, and I think that's I honestly don't know how else to explain how those two things are not the same, and I honestly don't have time to do it here or probably anywhere else, because it's so far from being the same thing that it'll just piss me off if I talk about it more. So
what's the next
moving on?
Moving on. I'm going to
Len needs to do a sticker review of me saying Templar's hard pass.
There you go. Yes. So instead of
fuck that She-Ra hard pass, okay? if you want to know the truth about me.
All right, this is more like it,
dude.
So yeah, let's get back to the dead guys. So among the reveals was yes, I'm sure it is irrelevant in your world.
Is that the Arakagor sword the sword that came with Arakagor?
Did Arakagor come with the sword?
I don't remember that.
Coming with the sword?
I don't remember if he did or not. It would make sense because of the scale, I would think.
Yeah. I actually have one of my my ogre scale barbarians holding a sword similar to that, and it actually came from one of my Mondo He-Man figures, which has an awesome sword. I have the axe with the He-Man, and the sword I have with my Mythic Legions, and that's awesome that they now have a ogre scale sword. It's freaking awesome.
Eric Munoz says yes, it is his sword.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I like it all black too.
It's awesome.
I mean, this was later in the reveal. So this was the second to last reveal. And Cornboy had mentioned before they were going to announce it, Cornboy's like, by the way, this is my favorite of the wave. And I think Jeremy said, well, we're not really supposed to have hate favorites, but it might be my favorite too.
I can see why.
This thing is just a dark, evil, gorgeous figure that is, I think he's my favorite. But like, it's the perfect answer to Sir Ukjak, right? The perfect answer. Tell me what you guys think about this giant, magnificent beast.
Well, I agree with Curtis, and I imagine these guys on the battlefield swinging whatever weapon they have, and the earth shaking because they are titans.
Yeah,
and it is so badass, man. That it is a beautiful figure. I love this sculpt.
Yeah, and this definitely, as a customizer, saves me from having to destroy some of those beautiful Ukjak figures and repainting them to this style. Because when I saw the Ukjak figure, I was like, oh my god, I have to freaking repaint this in like a sinister, like dark armor style. You know what I mean? To make like a evil twin to Greg's figure. But now I see this, I'm like, oh, beautiful, beautiful. I'm like, this saves me so much painting time and heartache. But oh my god, this figure is amazing. Just
I love
amazing.
that collar.
And then
So
let's go back
good,
to the
dude.
collar. The collar's nuts because you can't even really see it that well from the front, but you turn them around. Look at the detail there.
Yeah. Just ridiculous, dude.
And I mentioned that. So then this is real chain, right? They said that's part of the soft goods.
Is that really? I didn't hear that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know that for sure.
It
That might be wishful thinking, but I told you guys when I saw this guy, I was like, looks like a Sir Gregor Clegane, something like that, like evil, massive, giant, evil, two evils knight. This guy is nuts. Must have. It's close. We're gonna look at a guy right after this that's close for best for me.
My God, so good, man.
And here's some of the weapons here. Here's the big giant sword.
Yeah.
Cullen gets to make another belt buckle.
Yep. I love the addition of the 2 style bracers too. That's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. The more ornate version and then a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah.
And then here is
Another
Trevor's incredible photo. And this photo with the background in the environment gives you, to me, almost a better idea of the detail all over the armor. You know, with the necronomics.
I think Trevor was saying this was the first time he actually utilized an AI background.
I was going to say that. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is it came out really cool. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known unless he said that. So
yeah.
So that's the first one. So reactions, Barrow, if I'm saying his name right, Barrowdak.
Yeah.
Bella Ludith's twin brother, which when they showed them side by side, I'm like, they came from the same woman. They don't look anything alike. But I mean, I guess they were probably different sizes when they were babies. I guess probably. Yeah. So Bill from Dorklayer says Gregor basically had that helm in the TV version. See?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know stuff.
I know things.
I know things and stuff.
Amazing figure, man. Freaking amazing figure. And like I said, those 2 figures, the good and evil version of those ogre scale knight figures going head to head in any kind of display or photographs is going to be something freaking epic. Like you said, you're going to feel the ground shaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Alberto says the loin chain is just molded plastic, same as the other ogre knight. That's cool. You know what that means? That's going to have to get replaced by real chain, baby. There's going to be a way to do it. Cut that plastic off, glue some chain on there. That's the thing.
Yeah, someone's definitely going to make that happen.
And doesn't that make sense? Curtis says that Jeremy confirmed that Barrowdak is the baby of the Necronominous children. So I guess that makes him 6 of 6. And of course, the baby would be the biggest one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here, if he's 6 of 6, here's 1 of 6.
Mm-hmm.
Thrasis.
I love that shield.
The shield is nuts. I wish this was. I assume on YouTube it's not coming off as clear as it is on my computer, because when I hop over to it, it looks so good. Oh my gosh. The mixed materials between the soft goods, and they said the green is actually plastic, right? It's molded plastic.
Yeah, it's molded.
At a quick glance, you can't tell right away between the orange
not
and
at
soft.
It looks just like another piece of cloth.
Yeah.
All right, chat me up about this guy, man. This is probably my other favorite of the wave.
This is my number 1 of this wave. Absolutely. Same. Just, I mean, so amazing in all the details, all the new pieces, the sculpt work. Like I said, again, C. Jessum's design and just flawless execution of the soft goods on this thing with the torn pieces. The colors that they've used on this is just amazing all around. Like I said, the new shield, just unbelievable, man. Just unbelievable how freaking awesome this figure is. And again, for a named figure, I mean, it's crazy to imagine this figure's $37. It just makes no sense at all. It's insane for this
Wow.
price.
What do you think, Ryan? You're not impressed?
No, he's my no, he's definitely my number one figure. Not only the look, but the story that he's the firstborn and he's the general of the army, essentially. I imagine that if Baradoc were to mouth off to him, Thrasis would just bitch slap him and tell him to get back in line since he's the baby.
You could kind of see it like, oh my God.
Kind of
there's so much
the eldest
potential.
sibling, just putting them all the younger ones in their place.
So first of all, here, before we hit that, all the accessories. And I was very happy to see when they popped over and showed the accessories that we got the bone feet, because to me, I think he would look much cooler out of the armored feet and ankles and with the bone feet and ankles. But I mean, I think they both look cool, but I think I'm going to prefer the bone feet. What do you guys have to say about that?
I would have to agree. I could see him with the bone feet. Only because to me the armored feet kind of look a little out of place, but that's just to me. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I do agree with you.
JG says all the baddies in this wave are a 10 out of 10 for me.
Agreed.
Yeah. And again, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of hands, 2 sets of feet, the pauldrons, belts, a spear, the sword, the cufflinks, the banner, and the shield. Like it's nuts, man. Rick Jones agrees with me. Bone feet better. I'll definitely buy both. Pablo Lopez says, I would have liked for that green loincloth to be soft goods, because now I will have to remove it to be able to mount him on a skeleton horse. That is a good point.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's like, it's a mix. You know, there's some, like, I think Eric Miller is a little bit hesitant or doesn't love soft goods as much. And I'm usually almost like a soft goods guy, where I'm like, even soft goods that aren't that great are still better than plastic. That's not always true. You know, sometimes bad soft goods are just bad. But yeah, again, another $37 figure that has a complete stack.
So Eric Munoz, he said, for me, I'm going to put him on the skeleton horse. See, I had a similar idea where he would be in the chariot from Brian Almeida on Cannabis, and then Necronominus would be flying. Like he would, Thrasis would be leading the ground troops, and Necronominus would just be soaring like over all of them.
Damn.
That's like a picture I have in my head.
You got to make it now, dude.
I probably can't pull that off, but I would love to try.
So Trevor says that just the trees are AI in this picture. The dial, fence, and graves are real. So that's where the real thing is the mixture there, and that the fact that you can't really tell. All right, so I undersold a little bit. Eric said he doesn't like he really dislikes soft goods and would always prefer sculpted plastic. And I knew that you didn't really love him that much. Is that, and I've heard different reasons for that. Some of that is dust, some of that is paint, some of that is, I'd be interested to hear what some of the ideas are behind that. I think for myself, the reason why I like soft goods so much is I think it's ingrained in my brain from when I was a kid, is that when some of like the Star Wars figures and things like that had soft goods, it lent an air of maybe realism to it that made it, I don't know, there was something about the soft goods that made it cool to me, and I've never let it go. And now that soft goods are wired, and it's another articulation point, if nothing else, it's another way to add movement to the figure. I freaking love it. But I know that there's a lot of people that don't agree. And, you know, you have Eric here who is a great creator in his own right, and he is not a fan of them at all. So I think that's cool that, for a lot of these new figures, they've been able to, like in last year's All-Stars wave, they gave you the choice, right? Of, was it the tunic or the loincloth? You got a cloth one and a plastic one, so you could switch out depending on what you wanted. That's amazing. To me, that's like above and beyond. And then here's the environment shot from Trevor, the full shot. So you can see there. So the Dio is a real Dio. It's just the trees are just the AI. That's pretty cool.
God damn, these shots are beautiful, man.
Yeah. And somebody, I think Brick had said it both during the Oddworld after show, and I think maybe in just the comments, that just the mood that is conveyed by the photos, it's so good. And I think in these two, in the Necronominus waves, you can really see the juxtaposition of that between, like, the skeleton figures and then the Aetheron figures. I think the light and the dark, the mood is so different.
Curtis said, I used to be one of the uncultured ones as well. Talking about soft goods.
Yeah, that wasn't that like 3 days ago? That was like 3 days ago. Eric says, I'm a little younger, so most of my toys never had soft goods. I prefer everything to be sculpted. Cloth goods are an art form, but I'm a toy fan, not a fashionista. That's fair. That's cool.
But go to the next comment.
So Curtis, you have more than 33% soft goods. Are you a doll?
Oh man.
No, Eric, you're not sounding like a troll, man. You like what you like. That's cool. I don't have.
Yeah.
I like hearing your perspective on it. That's cool.
See,
okay,
we can have a discussion about it, not an argument.
Yeah, that's just preference, man. Okay, you know
what?
I never should have fed him that. I am such a... So, all right, let's put us back up. I think Eric had to bounce because Waltor the Mad was invading his house. All right, what should we look at next? Hold on. How about this guy? Next up. Boom. Scally Bone Splitter. Ryan, what do you think about this one, man?
So I am a dwarf guy. I'm not a skeleton guy, but I can appreciate the hell out of a dwarf skeleton just because he fits the motif and he works so well in this wave. And it's just a beautiful figure top to bottom.
Yeah, it's funny. This was one of the things, like, when people were trying to guess what was going to be in the wave, there was a few people that said skeleton dwarf, and it sounds so ridiculous that you're like, maybe.
Yeah.
But I guess it just made too much sense. And I think Jeremy has sort of explained that it was the kind of thing where this head was going to be in the head pack. But then they were looking at it, and they were like, it's just a shame that so many of the parts are there to just put him as a head pack, as a head in the head pack. What if we just made him a whole figure? And which was awesome, because I am not a big dwarf guy. I know that you're a dwarf guy. David Williams is a big dwarf guy. I'm not really. You consider Boyer a dwarf. I'm a big Boyer fan. But this guy is so freaking cool. The detail, the paint on this guy, the metallics on this guy. Trevor, your photos knocked it out of the park on this one. Like, the shininess, I love. There's something about, like, there's almost something goblin-esque about a skeleton dwarf. I'm digging this guy big time. Look at the pauldrons. The pauldrons are gorgeous. Boom.
And I love the two different head sculpts, like the one where you get a little bit of the skelly jaw, and then you get one head sculpt that's fully bearded with the mustache that covers that. So it's two different characters. I'm in.
Yeah, totally.
Now I got to buy 50 of these motherfuckers.
That's right. Our first dwarf Skelly. Alberto, you're right there, my man. Pablo says, I prefer soft goods in my figures as a photograph. Having the option to show more movement in a figure by having wired soft goods is the icing on top. Different perspective. That's cool.
Rooted hair. Yeah.
Let's do it. That's going to come, dude. I had this thought last night with this exact figure because, was it today? I forget if it was during the reveal. And look at this. This environment shot. It's nuts. I guess it might have been another conversation in Off World where they were talking about the beard going straight to the bone, right? Like the dwarfs grow their beards right from their skulls. And I was like, you know what would have been cool if this beard had been rooted hair in the skull. Tell you what, man, at some point that's coming. Maybe not next year, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not 2 years from now. At some point, that's coming. Another great photo, Scally Bone Splitter. All right, here. Trying to move a little bit quicker here.
Well, Curtis said you better include a hairbrush.
No. Well, I mean, I don't think that's a problem. Here we go. Skeleton Raider. This was the tease. We knew there were skeletons coming. The cool was when the tease was blown up a little bit, and you could see that the body was going to be a skeleton as well. Here we go. But this is the guy that first I think gave a lot of people Harryhausen vibes, Harryhausen / Frazetta helmet vibes. He's got the little Conan helmet on, but like the movement of the body definitely feels Jason and the Argonaut, right?
Dude, I love the more so stripped down Skelly look, but some armor aspects. But I just imagine 50 of these guys, like in the clip we watched, just throwing themselves at whoever they're fighting.
Crazy. And then he still has like the little Clayton helmet.
Yeah, I love that they included that.
Claytons. Yeah. He know they'll have to replace that plastic chain with real chain. And again, another loaded figure. And this guy is definitely, you can see this guy being an army builder, right?
Yeah. And with everything that he comes with, I could have seen him being a deluxe figure. Like at the deluxe price point, not what this was 37, right?
Yep, 37. Yep.
Yeah, I could have seen this being not like, yeah, definitely a deluxe. I'll walk that back. This could have easily been what 55 or the like deluxe builder packs.
Yeah, but to JG's point, Scally is fantastic. Might need to see him with a slightly icy looking touch.
Yo,
maybe that's something we see, kind of like the undead builder pack type deal. So again, Skeleton Raider.
JG says he wishes the Raider was 2.0.
Oh yeah,
just a little thinner. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
We did him. Did all these guys. Dun, 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 dun.
Let me step away.
All right.
A second.
Yep, no problem. And in the interim, I'm gonna call up this guy. So here we go. Sir Andrew. So this is a figure designed by Joe Vassapolo and named, I learned last night, after Joe's son Andrew, if I've got that correct. I hope I do. And cool. And at first I was like, all right, this is a cool night. But right away there was a few things that kind of struck me about this guy. number one, the first thing that kind of struck me was that the color of this armor, this dark copper or whatever it is, reminded me a lot of some of the pictures I saw of Sir Galeron. And there was a bunch of Galeron photos that were shown recently as part of the campaigning for All-Star 6. And what I noticed in a lot of those photos was the Galeron armor looked a very different hue depending on the photo that was taken. Sometimes it looked very blah, sometimes it looked brighter, sometimes it looked in between. I know there's been some colors, so maybe they were mixed in there too. And while this might not be the exact same color, the color of Sir Andrew's armor reminded me a lot of Sir Galeron. So while we didn't get a Sir Galeron in All Stars, maybe this can help scratch that itch a little bit. I know the itch has more to do with the figure itself, and that he's just so hard to come by as opposed to the color. But that was one thing that jumped out at me. The second thing was the soft goods, which are very ornate. Joe had said that he had gone to his son and sort of asked for design ideas, and he wanted like a flying, fire-breathing dragon. Well, I think they got a lot of good elements here. You can see the wings on the top of the pauldrons, which are awesome. The soft goods are cut in a feathered pattern, which looks very cool. And this, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker. It's funny, guys. In the group chat that I have with Ryan and Eric, we were talking, during the stream. And at one point I was like, you know what? I just want something translucent, anything translucent. And literally this was the next guy that came up and they showed this flame effect, which is the flame effect from Arathir's sword, but in a blue hue. This is the only photo you needed to show me. I'm getting this guy. And your thoughts?
I dig it. I love the pauldrons and the cape. When they showed it from the front view, I said, damn, this is a beautiful figure. And then they hit us with the side and they showed us the cape because he wanted the wing pattern. I said, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Curtis says, I think we need Joe's son just to send it on his own, and then we'll get the dragon. Yeah. Eric Munoz says, my favorite of the wave. Eric, by the way, the first comment tonight's alive, still sticking with us almost 2 hours later, my friend. I've been looking for a way to do a giveaway, by the way. And we just, our live is a more intimate thing. Like we don't have like 100 people or something like that ever, but I appreciate the people that are here. Eric Munoz, you are a loyal participant. We love talking to you. First comment of the day. You've got a giveaway if you want it, man. You've got a giveaway. If you want to message me on Facebook, Jonathan Donath, Instagram, or anything like that, I will get the giveaway out to you. It's going to be this. A Jada Toys Universal Monsters Glow in the Dark Entertainment exclusive Creature from the Black Lagoon. So if you message me, that's yours for being a loyal Saturday Night Live participant to the show. Appreciate you, man.
Awesome.
Must be Lord of the Terrace, yeah. I agree. He does look like he could be affiliated with Lord of the Terrace. All right, so the other blue, the effect is something that is in the Poxis wave too.
It's kind of
there
like
he is, just all knighted up.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, so I think it like, does it wrap around the hand, Ryan? Am I saying that right?
I'm not 100% sure.
Right here.
Because I don't even
comes with
remember
the wizard,
how
right?
it was used. Say it one more time.
I believe it was with wizards.
Yeah, but I don't even remember how it was utilized in the Poxis wave.
Yeah, I don't know. Here, maybe one of the photos shows it. I'll try to get to one of them real quick.
Said Curtis, man.
Go throw it up there.
In fairness, Eric was only here first because he thought he could sell the show for a profit.
So here's one of the wizards. That's the same effect, right? So you can curl it around a staff, I guess. One way to use it. It is pretty long to try to stand on its own, so I guess you probably do need to wrap it around something.
Well, since he's a pyromancer, couldn't you like wrap it, like start it at the gauntlet and just have it wrap up the sword, kind of like a, kind of like a magic effect? Since he's a pyromancer, or am I just talking out of my ass?
No, you're not. I'm just trying to make sure that. Hold on a second. Let me go back to his accessories. Because he doesn't have a staff. So I think what you'd have to do is, if you just want to use, I mean, you could use somebody else's stuff, but maybe you can wrap it around the sword the same way and let it like shoot off of the sword type thing. Oh, yeah, that's what Curtis. Yeah. I thought they said they could shoot from the sword. So yes, that is the answer. So there you go. All right. Almost there. Oh, wait. Let's do the environment shot real quick.
Yet another fantastic shot.
Yep. And that again shows you the difference between like the moods between the Net Omnis figures and the Aetheron figures. Here we go. Curtis's least favorite figure. Sir Enoch. So here we go straight up. What everyone said after this was just that this is the old guy. This is the old knight from Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You have chosen wisely. It is a beautiful figure. I do like the Sir Elijah figure that was announced in the fall. Thoughts on this guy, Ryan?
Another great figure. I know they said that they reused some of the Gideon V2 parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I
think that looks good. And I also really dig the bucket helmet with the red attachments. I think it'll look like really. Oh no,
that's just my phone. I feel like you could do some cool light and dark shots with that exact helmet you're talking about.
Yeah,
with Enoch and the Dark Templar, because they have the same helmet, Yeah. I also think his armor looks really cool. Trevor says you can wrap the magic effect around their arms too. Yep.
There we go.
I love how shiny the armor is on this guy, and for some reason, to me, it really shows up a lot in the hands.
And I will say this again. I really like the $37 price point, even though I feel like it's criminal that they can keep it at those prices. I'm not complaining. That's not what I'm doing.
No, don't do that. And then we looked at this guy just a second ago, but again, the new Deacon, same soft goods, except now you're going to get the Aetheron logo instead of the cross. And the other accessories will remain the same: the banner, the main sword, the other saddle. So that's cool. So now I just want to get us to. I don't think I can make these big though, unless I save them. Hold on.
So have you said it? Who is your number one from this wave?
I think it's Barodak. Thrasis is close. How about yourself?
Thrasis is my number one. but Baradak, it was right up there because as soon as they showed Baradak, I said, "Holy shit!" I literally screamed, "Holy shit!" and I was in the room by myself.
Nah, we'll just do it this way. Okay. Hold up.
Thrasus is Bill's favorite as well, or yeah.
Yeah, so then the rest of it, you have the belt packs. They come in black and brown, 7 different belts, 5 regular belts, 2 shoulder straps, I believe.
I really like
the bone wings,
the crossbody belt because I really want to put it on that because I just have the 2 older styles. I feel like it would really add something to that.
Listen, everybody out there customize even a little bit, I'm going to be a huge fan. The bone wings, obviously, you can do so much with them.
And the heads pack, man, the gorilla. So the Torpiculi wasn't one of my favorite, but I ordered it because I did like it. And the gorilla heads for that, man, I'm kicking myself in the ass for not ordering more of that.
Yeah. And again, so the belts packs are $12 each. People are going to buy a ton of those. The heads pack is $30. Like, you easily spend $30 on one head at an convention, right? That's not a big deal. These heads are awesome. I will say the ones that are actually articulated are super cool. Like the vampire's articulated, right? The lion and the wolf, right?
Fixed. Yeah.
So that's the lion. That's the wolf. They are not articulated. Then that's the vampire. That one is articulated. The human head is articulated. Oh no, this is so wait, so these are both. There's 2 vampire heads?
No, I think one's an orc.
Okay, yeah. So this is an orc. Sorry, this is a vampire, right? Somebody will help me out here.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, all right. So I got the text from Mrs. Hedgehog. Steaks are on the grill. I know what that means.
Time to go.
Yeah, but listen, it's fun talking to you again, man. Listen, we went through a lot of stuff before we ever got to the actual taking a look at the photos of the Necronominus reveals. Yeah, Alberto says, yeah, Orcus thicker skull. Sorry about that. YouTubers, what do people like to see in reviews? People giving their views on the Deacon change and some social commentary there.
Yeah.
But I'm pumped about this wave, man. I think it's very cool. The all is a great deal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know that I need a Bolthar in my collection. No disrespect to the dwarf people, but it's not,
How
I'm
dare
not
you?
a big dwarf guy. Like if I never have a Bolthar in my collection, I'm okay with it. But most of the other stuff I'm kind of into. So if you're into most of it, you're almost like, well, the all-in's a better deal anyway, right?
Yeah.
And even if you have to sell 1 or 2 things off, you probably can. So, any final thoughts, my friend?
Yes. ToyCon next weekend, next Saturday.
Oh shit! That should be like a big thing that I was talking about. I totally forgot about that. ToyCon New Jersey, for anybody in the Northeast or anybody that might be in New Jersey next week. ToyCon New Jersey, which is thrown by Joe Viteris, who is, yes, Lord Viteris, and partnered with Jeremy on doing Legions Con, is throwing ToyCon New Jersey. They do it twice a year. It's been going on for years. I've been going for years. It's been at the Wayne Police Athletic League building. last couple of years. Before that, it was at the PAL, Police Athletic League building in Parsippany, New Jersey. It's going back to Parsippany, New Jersey. Check it out online. If you have a chance, it's all day Saturday and all day Sunday. The Four Horsemen will be there. They will have a table selling a bunch of figures. Ryan will be there. I'm pretty sure, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, I'm pretty sure Wolf King Customs will be there as well.
I think
I
so.
will be there. I will have a table. I will have a hedgehog table where I'll be chilling out, hanging out, saying what's up to everybody, and selling off some of my excess collection, trying to make some room here in the hedgehog den. And I am going to have an employee with me. My special assistant, my son Chase, will be there with me both days, helping me out. So anybody that can make it, I would encourage you to go. It's a great show. I have a feeling this one's going to be pretty big. There's multiple rooms. It's normally pretty big anyway, but I think it's going to be very well attended because we've sort of hit one of those spots in the year when there's not a lot going on, either right before the show or right after it. It's Toy-Con New Jersey next weekend. And there's some other stuff. There's cons in July. There's a couple other things going on. But the next real big thing is PowerCon in August, which we're both supposed to go to as well. But if you're going to be in New Jersey or you're around the Northeast at all, next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, June 10th and 11th, all day, Parsippany, New Jersey, Toy-Con, New Jersey. Am I right, Ryan? It's a great show.
Absolutely. And there's a little bit of everything for everyone. And I don't know if everyone has seen it or if you're into it, but there will be an exclusive at the show for premium DNA Battletoads figure, if that's your thing. I might grab one. But
they sometimes they'll have more than one. Last year they had a Plunderling, purple Plunderling was the exclusive. This time next week it's going to be a Battletoads figure. Sometimes they have more. Eric Munoz, the answer is yes. Four Horsemen will be at Toy-Con, New Jersey. They almost always go. I can't remember the last one they didn't go to. But they will be there. They will have a table. They will be the main attraction. Same deal. If you want to get there early, I think the door is probably open. VIP is probably 8:30 or 9. Regular in is probably 9:30 or 10, something like that. I can look it up right now. Instagram, Eric, it's at Hedgehog Action. At Hedgehog Action. Here we go.
Also,
this is my Instagram.
Yeah, perfect. The following weekend, the 17th, it is my birthday.
Oh snap! Ryan, birthday stream. Unless you're doing something else, we'll do it. But we'll do it around your schedule, Ryan.
I don't ever do anything.
Sorry, I'm trying to go to Toy-Con, New Jersey. So Toy-Con, New Jersey. Real quick.
Trevor said, where are we having lunch?
There's some good places in Parsippany. Am I on the wrong? Yeah, I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry, wrong one. Isn't this it? Oh no, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Gotta be this one. Yeah. Sorry. All right, so that's the Toy-Con Jersey exclusive Battletoads. If that's the thing, it comes in the package is supposed to look like a Nintendo cartridge.
I'm in.
Let's see.
Just for nostalgia.
Yes, there we go. That's the exclusive. Toy-Con New Jersey. Let's see, what else can we see here? More than meets the eye. So I can't just click on this? Weird. Right.
Early bird is 9 to 10.
Yeah, so early bird, if you early bird 9 to 10, that's cool if you can get in. The last few times there's been a line. So especially with Four Horsemen being there especially early summer. These ones are always well attended. Here's the deal with ToyCon. If you want to get to the horseman table early and maybe get any of the, a lot of times early in the day they might have some harder to find figures on the table. You got to get there early, before 8 probably. Be prepared to wait in line. Here's the thing: it's all day though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna
Ryan's
say,
gonna say 7.
Probably earlier than that. I know the last couple times, I'm not tooting my own horn. It's just because I'm crazy. I'll probably be like 3rd or 4th in line. But at the parking lot for this building isn't quite as big as the other one, so I would get there a little earlier to get parking in front of the building.
Yeah, and I'll go even a step further. Parking, that's the one I do love, the Parsippany location. And that's the first one I went to for ToyCon. I will say that unless it's changed, the parking here compared to the parking in Wayne, the parking here is not great. It's not great. So you sort of have to figure out a spot somewhere. So it's good if you get there early, 100%. But here's the thing: if you're in New Jersey or you're going to be around New Jersey anyway, if you don't care about being at the Four Horsemen table super early, you can come later in the day. You can come in the afternoon, and it might be a little bit easier to get a spot. That probably at that point might not be a line, so you can get in a little bit easier. That's what I used to do. Like you're not going to get the prize figures if there are any at the Horseman table, but it's sort of it's a push and pull. It's a give and take, but I'll be there all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So ToyCon New Jersey, Ryan, thank you so much for mentioning that. It's a big show. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be tons of fun. There's tons of great stuff there. And it's not one of those shows where it's all, 16 to, 45 tables of, current Marvel Legends and Super 7 and NECA Turtles. All of that stuff will be there, but they also have tons of great vintage stuff. Video games, it's mostly toys, but they do have video games, tons of great vintage stuff. It's a great show. It's my hometown show. I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, I agree with this. Because Premium DNA, it's a megalopolis.
Yeah, so you'll notice too that in the advertisements for the exclusive, the Premium DNA part is not hot. It's not highlighted at all. No. It's just the ToyCon New Jersey exclusive. So that sort of is what it is. People did not have a good feeling about how that part of Megalopolis ended, but I don't know. I can't. I got nothing to say. It is what it is. But I know I've talked to a lot of people that are pumped about this exclusive specifically, just the toy. So I know it looks kind of fun. I know the convention is awesome, so I encourage anybody that has any inclination might be able to go. It's a great time. It's tons of fun. Trevor hit me up. I'm definitely down to grab some lunch. Although during the kind of tough during the convention, maybe afterwards we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. And my phone doesn't want to stay on the desk. So, all right, we'll call it there. Ryan, thank you so much, my friend, for joining me for another great Saturday. A fun stream, man. I had a blast on this one.
Absolutely.
So hit us up in the Cabal. Again, my Instagram, @HedgehogAction, my YouTube channel, which you're probably watching on now, @HedgehogAction, or you might be watching in the Dork Lair Collectors on Facebook. If you're not watching in the Dork Lair Collectors group, you're not a member, check it out. Dork Lair Collectors group on Facebook. It is a great group of like-minded collectors that try to help each other out as far as news go, sales, different things like that. Check out my latest review, Gorgo and Attila, on my YouTube channel. ToyCon New Jersey next week. Ryan, any last thoughts?
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. And if you haven't, give my man a subscribe, but it looks like it's mostly YouTube comments, so you people are awesome.
Yeah. And with that, until next time, remember the number one rule. Be cool.